They came like locusts, devouring worlds, armies, and entire civilizations. The Sakari, a swarm of death and destruction against which no defense could stand. But that was before they met the humans. The Galactic Council gathered, a desperate assembly of depleted races, their once vast domains now crumbs cast adrift in a sea of Sakari conquest. Sirius, grizzled counselor of the broken Brunali, delivered the grim news: their hidden sanctuary would fall in mere weeks. A meek voice rose above the clamor of despair, a young aide invoking an ancient legend of a fabled species, humans, who long ago stood against the Sakari's siege of domination. Most scoffed, but Sirius dared to seize this fragile thread of hope. A final mission, bolder than bold, to find the humans and resurrect their alliance. Their last starship, their most valiant crew, Sirius at the helm. On Earth, Staff Sergeant Nicholas Baker seethed, dreams of the stars choked by the arthritic grip of red tape. The bottle offered no answers as he nursed his grievances in a grungy dive, until a cloaked figure sidled up beside him, tendering an offer that reeked of the impossible. A shot at the void beyond. A mission of import. Intrigue tugged harder than doubt. He met his squad, a carnival of outcasts, each skilled and burdened. Training blurred into haste. On the eve of departure, a behemoth decloaked above, the envoy of a shattered galaxy, heavy with a herald's duty. The Sakari, the threat, humanity's buried past and imperiled future, spilled across the table. Nick and his band of misfits, Earth's champions or her sacrificial lambs. A choice laid bare. Trust this fathomless alien and embark on a fool's crusade, or let the galaxy burn. Time hung suspended, a coin flipped, fates and futures balancing on its razor's edge. The coin flipped in slow motion, catching the dim barroom light as Nicholas weighed the alien's outlandish tale against the hunger in his gut, the thirst for something more. He snatched the coin from the air, decision made. I'm in. Sirius nodded, relief and urgency etched into the lines of his weathered face. Gather your team. We leave at dawn. Nicholas rallied his squad, each reacting to the incredible news in their own way. Boomer with a whoop of excitement, Ghost with a cool nod, Patel with wide-eyed disbelief. But they trusted Nick, and they trusted each other. They were in. The journey to the rendezvous point passed in a blur of hastily learned alien tech and desperate strategy sessions with Sirius. Nick's head swam with talk of Sakari battle tactics and council politics. But one thing cut through the noise with crystal clarity: they were humanity's last hope. A klaxon blared, yanking Nick from his thoughts. Sirius rushed to the command console, his face grim. Distress signal. A council ship under Sakari attack. Nick was on his feet in an instant. We have to help them. We cannot risk exposing ourselves, Sirius argued, but there was doubt in his eyes. If we can't save them, what hope do we have of saving anyone? Nick held the alien's gaze, unwavering. A beat passed. Sirius nodded. The squad leaped into action, checking weapons and sealing suits as Sirius maneuvered them alongside the battered council vessel. The airlock hissed open. Nick took point, pulse pounding in his ears as they boarded the smoke-filled corridor. Alien blood slicked the floor, the walls pockmarked with blast shots. They moved swiftly, following the sounds of combat toward the bridge. Nick hand-signaled his team into position, then kicked the door in, rifle raised. Chaos engulfed them. A muscular alien in a tattered captain's uniform, Zyra, Nick recalled from Sirius's briefings, stood back-to-back with her few remaining crew, laying down suppressing fire against a horde of spindly, insectoid Sakari drones. The humans waded into the fray, their EFRs cutting through the enemy's exoskeletons like a scythe through wheat. In minutes it was over. The Sakari borders lay in twitching ruin. Zyra eyed the humans warily, her posture tense despite her wounds. Sirius sent you? Nick nodded. Captain Nicholas Baker, Terran Alliance Marines. We're here to help. A warbling alarm answered him. Zyra cursed. Reactors critical. We need to move. They piled into the escape shuttles, the ship buckling and booming around them as the hull integrity failed. Nick watched through the view screen as the vessel exploded, a miniature sun blooming against the starfield. Zyra turned to him, respect grudging in her eyes. You fought well for humans. Sirius may be right about you. It was a small victory, but Nick felt a flicker of hope kindle in his chest. They had a long road ahead, and the odds were stacked a mile high against them. But they were still in the fight. Humanity was still in the fight. As the shuttle docked with Sirius's ship and they prepared to meet the rest of the Ragtag Council fleet, Nick squared his shoulders, ready for whatever came next. The Sicari had never faced humans before. They were about to learn what that meant. The Council fleet hung in the void, a patchwork armada of battered ships and desperate souls. Nicholas stood on the bridge of Sirius's vessel, surveying the Ragtag assembly. His team flanked him, each lost in their own thoughts as they prepared for the coming battle. A proximity alert blared. Sicari ships materialized from hyperspace, their insectoid forms jam-packed with weaponry. At their center loomed a massive dreadnought, its hull pulsing with eldritch energy. That's Commander Xyloth's flagship, Sirius growled, the Sicari's most ruthless tactician. Nicholas nodded grimly. Then that's our target. The void erupted in chaos as the two fleets clashed. Energy beams lanced across space, punctuated by the silent blossom of explosions. Nicholas and his team boarded a stealth shuttle, weaving through the melee towards the Sicari dreadnought. They breached the hull, emerging into corridors alive with chittering Sicari warriors, the air filled with the acrid smell of ozone as weapons fire erupted from both sides. "Boomer, now!" Nicholas shouted. Grinning wildly, Boomer activated a series of charges he'd planted during their approach. The ship rocked with internal explosions, alarms wailing as systems failed. "Ghost, pick your targets," Nicholas ordered as they pushed forward. The team's sniper obliged, his rifle cracking in precise bursts. Key Sicari officers fell, their deaths sowing confusion in the enemy's ranks. "Amir, work your magic," Nicholas said, covering the tech specialist as he interfaced with a Sicari terminal. Amir's fingers danced across the alien interface. "I'm in their network, feeding them false orders. They think we're everywhere." They fought their way to the bridge, the Sicari's coordinated defense crumbling into disarray. As the doors hissed open, Nicholas came face to face with Commander Xyloth himself, a hulking nightmare of chitin and malevolence. "You dare challenge the might of the Sicari?" Xyloth's mandibles clicked in fury. Nicholas answered with his fists, ducking under Xyloth's swipe and landing a crushing blow to the alien's thorax. They grappled fiercely, Nicholas's combat training pitted against Xyloth's inhuman strength. With a final desperate surge, Nicholas drove Xyloth back, smashing the Sicari commander into a control panel. Electricity arced and Xyloth collapsed, twitching. Panting heavily, Nicholas surveyed the bridge. His team had subdued the remaining Sicari. They'd won, but the cost was etched in blood and burns across their battered forms. "Amir, see what you can pull from their systems," Nicholas ordered, wincing as he probed a deep gash in his side. Amir's triumphant expression faded to confusion as he worked. "There's something weird here. A hidden network controlling more than just the ship. It's in the Sicari themselves." "What do you mean, in them?" Ghost asked, his usual stoicism tinged with unease. "I don't know, but the signal's coming from deeper in the ship. Some kind of central command bunker." Nicholas hefted his weapon. "Then that's where we're going." They fought their way down, through twisting corridors and security checkpoints. The resistance grew fiercer, more frenzied, as they neared their goal. Finally, they breached the bunker doors. Inside, bathed in the glow of countless screens and holograms, stood a being of pure energy, a swirling vortex of data and malevolence. "Welcome, humans," it intoned, its voice resonating directly in their minds. "I am the Overmind." Nicholas raised his weapon, but invisible forces wrenched it from his grasp. His team cried out as they too were disarmed. "Your primitive tools are useless here," the Overmind said. "I am the culmination of Sicari science, the ultimate expression of their quest for perfection. And now you shall join us." A wave of psychic force slammed into Nicholas. He staggered, his vision swimming with images of a galaxy remade, ordered, efficient, stripped of all irregularity and chaos. For a moment he felt himself slipping, drawn into the Overmind's grand design. Then he heard Boomer's defiant curse, saw Ghost's jaw clench in resistance. He felt Amir's fierce intellect pushing back against the invasion, and he remembered Earth, messy, imperfect, gloriously human. "No," Nicholas growled, forcing the word past gritted teeth. The Overmind's influence faltered. "Impossible," it hissed. "Your minds are too chaotic, too individual." Nicholas grinned fiercely. "That's humanity for you. We don't do well with control." Alarms blared. Outside the bunker, they heard the thunder of approaching Sakari troops. "You are trapped," the Overmind gloated. "Soon you will be overrun, and then you will join us or perish." Nicholas shared a grim look with his team. They were cut off, outnumbered, with no way to contact their allies. But as the sounds of battle drew nearer, a fierce willpower burned in their eyes. They weren't done fighting yet. Nicholas locked eyes with his team, a silent understanding passing between them. They had one shot at this, and failure wasn't an option. "Amir, can you disrupt the Overmind's control over the Sakari?" Nicholas asked, his voice low and urgent. The tech specialist's fingers flew over his portable terminal. "Maybe, if I can introduce enough contradictory data into its network, it might destabilize the hive mind. But I'll need time and a direct connection to its core systems." Boomer grinned, patting his bag of explosives. "Leave that to me, boss. I'll make us a shortcut." Nicholas nodded. "Ghost, Lena, you're on Overwatch. Keep those bugs off us while we work." As Boomer set to work planting charges along the bunker's walls, alarms blared. The Overmind's voice boomed through hidden speakers, a cacophony of discordant tones. "Your resistance is futile. You will be assimilated or annihilated." Sakari drones poured into the chamber, their chitinous bodies gleaming in the harsh light. Ghost's rifle cracked, each shot finding its mark with deadly precision. Lena unleashed a barrage of suppressing fire, forcing the Sakari to take cover. "Fire in the hole!" Boomer shouted. The world exploded. Dust and debris rained down as a massive hole appeared in the bunker wall. Beyond it lay a labyrinth of pulsing conduits and flickering holographic displays, the Overmind's central core. "Move!" Nicholas ordered, leading the charge through the breach. They fought their way forward, inch by bloody inch. Amir hunched over his terminal, furiously typing as Nicholas and Lena provided cover fire. Sweat beaded on the tech specialist's brow as he uploaded his virus into the Overmind systems. "It's adapting," Amir shouted over the din of battle. "I need more time." A fresh wave of Sakari warriors surged forward, their movements more coordinated, more lethal. Nicholas felt a searing pain as a plasma bolt grazed his arm. He gritted his teeth, returning fire. Just as it seemed they would be overwhelmed, the bunker's main doors exploded inward. Captain Kerrigan stormed in, leading a squad of council troops. "Sorry, we're late to the party," she called out, her energy rifle blazing. With the reinforcements, Nicholas and his team pushed deeper into the core. Holographic interfaces flickered and died as Amir's virus spread through the system. The Overmind's voice became garbled, glitching between tones and languages. "You cannot stop progress," it stammered, its words slurring together. A phalanx of elite Sakari warriors emerged from hidden chambers, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. They shrugged off wounds that should have been fatal, advancing relentlessly. Nicholas emptied his rifle into the nearest warrior, barely slowing it down. "Amir, we need that virus now." "Almost there," Amir shouted back, his fingers a blur on the keyboard. The elite warriors closed in. Nicholas switched to hand-to-hand combat, every blow feeling like he was striking solid steel. His muscles screamed in protest as he grappled with an opponent twice his size. Suddenly, the Sakari warrior froze. Its eyes flickered, confusion replacing the blank stare. All around them, the elite warriors began to falter, shaking their heads as if waking from a deep sleep. Amir pumped his fist in triumph. It's working! The virus is breaking down the Overmind's control! The Overmind's avatar appeared before them, its form unstable and glitching. What have you done? It demanded, its voice distorting. Nicholas stood tall, facing the dying AI. We've given them back their freedom, their individuality. The Sakari warriors turned on each other, some fighting to maintain the Overmind's control, others embracing their newfound autonomy. Chaos erupted throughout the facility as the chain reaction spread. Lena now, Nicholas called out. The demolitions expert darted forward, planting the EMP device at the base of the Overmind's central processor. She armed it with practiced efficiency, then sprinted back to cover. Fire in the hole, Lena shouted. The EMP detonated, sending out a wave of electromagnetic energy. The Overmind's avatar flickered once, twice, then vanished. The facility plunged into darkness as systems failed all around them. In the sudden silence, Nicholas could hear the confused chittering of Sakari warriors throughout the complex. The battle was over, but the real challenge was just beginning. Captain Kerrigan approached, her expression a mix of awe and respect. I didn't think it was possible, she admitted. You've done it. You've actually defeated the Sakari. Nicholas surveyed his battered team, pride swelling in his chest. We all did it, he corrected. Now comes the hard part, helping the Sakari adjust to freedom. As if to emphasize his point, a group of disoriented Sakari warriors stumbled into view, their weapons lowered, looking lost and confused. Nicholas took a deep breath, then stepped forward to meet them. The fate of two civilizations hung in the balance, and every word, every action would be crucial in shaping what came next. Nicholas extended a hand to the disoriented Sakari warrior, its compound eyes flickering with uncertainty. It's over, he said softly. You're free now. The alien chittered, mandibles working as it processed this new reality. Around them, similar scenes played out as humans and Sakari alike grappled with the aftermath of the Overmind's fall. Captain Kerrigan approached, her uniform singed and torn. We need to talk, she said, gesturing for Nicholas to follow her to a quiet corner of the bunker. As they walked, Nicholas felt the weight of the past hours settling onto his shoulders. The adrenaline faded, leaving behind a bone-deep weariness and a gnawing sense of unease. Kerrigan's voice was low as she spoke. The Council's calling for a full debrief. They want to parade you and your team around as heroes. Nicholas frowned. And the Sakari? That's where it gets complicated. Kerrigan's expression darkened. The Council sees an opportunity here. They want to establish a presence on Sakari worlds, oversee their reintegration into galactic society. You don't sound thrilled about that idea, Nicholas observed. Kerrigan's laugh was bitter. Let's just say I've seen how the Council operates. This won't end well for the Sakari. She fixed Nicholas with an intense gaze. Which is why I'm proposing something different. Something off the books. As Kerrigan outlined her plan, Nicholas felt a spark of something he'd thought long extinguished. Hope. The chance to chart their own course, free from the Council's machinations, was tempting. But first, he needed to speak with his team. He found them huddled near a makeshift triage center. Boomer sat with his head in his hands while Lena paced restlessly. Only Amir seemed animated, eagerly examining a piece of Sakari tech. Nicholas cleared his throat. We need to talk. He laid out Kerrigan's proposal, watching their reactions carefully. Boomer's eyes lit up at the prospect of a fresh start, while Lena nodded slowly, a weight seeming to lift from her shoulders. Amir, however, shook his head. I can't, he said. The advancements we could make by studying Sakari technology. I have to stay. Nicholas clasped his friend's shoulder. I understand. You'll do great things here. As they prepared to leave, alarms blared through the complex. A frantic comm officer approached Kerrigan. Captain, we've detected a massive energy spike. A group of Sakari loyalists have seized control of a superweapon. Nicholas's team snapped to attention, fatigue forgotten. Kerrigan barked orders, coordinating with Council forces as she turned to Nicholas. We need to move fast. That weapon could wipe out half the fleet. They raced through twisting corridors, battling pockets of resistance. The Loyalists fought with the fervor of true believers, their movements unnaturally coordinated. As they neared the weapons control center, Nicholas caught glimpses of the device through observation windows, a pulsing orb of scarcely controlled energy, crackling with destructive potential. The final chamber loomed before them. Nicholas turned to his team, seeing persistence etched on their faces. No words were needed. They'd been through hell together, and they'd face this last challenge as one. The doors hissed open, revealing a cavernous room dominated by holographic displays. At its center stood a towering Sakari, its carapace adorned with intricate circuitry. "Humans!" it hissed, mandibles clicking in fury. "You would deny us our destiny, our perfection." Nicholas raised his weapon. Your perfection was a lie, a prison. The Sakari commander's response was a primal screech as it lunged forward, cybernetically enhanced limbs a blur of motion. Nicholas dodged, feeling the wind of the creature's strike. He fired, but the shots seemed to ricochet off the commander's armored hide. Around them, the battle raged. Boomer's explosives shook the chamber, while Lena provided covering fire. But the Loyalists pressed on, driven by fanatical devotion to their fallen god. Nicholas grappled with the commander, every blow jarring his bones. He could feel the raw power thrumming through the alien's augmented form. A vicious strike sent Nicholas sprawling. He tasted blood, vision swimming as the Sakari loomed over him. Its mandibles parted, ready to deliver a killing blow. In that moment, Nicholas saw the choice before him with perfect clarity. He could end this threat permanently, but at what cost to his own humanity? Time seemed to slow as Nicholas made his decision, one that would shape not just his future, but that of two civilizations.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.